Welcome to the Imago Dei Recovery Podcast, where we can discover God's heart and unearth the masterpiece of God's image inside us. On today's episode, we will look at what Imago Dei Recovery stands for and give a brief interview of internal family systems and how it applies to recovery. Hi, I'm James Janikin, the founder of Imago Dei Recovery. Thank you for joining with me on this adventure. Here at Imago Dei Recovery, we believe that in our core, we carry God's image, and that gives us innate value. We believe that coming to understand this truth is key to gaining freedom and healing from unwanted sexual behavior and addiction. Modern psychology teaches us that there are 4 core beliefs of addiction. The first being that I am broken. I am, at my core, a bad, unworthy person. The second core belief is that no one could ever love me if they truly knew me. If they knew me, they would run away. The third core belief is that no one will provide my needs and wants, so I have to provide them for myself. The fourth core belief being that the substance or process that is being consumed is necessary to maintain your own health and safety. These core beliefs lead us into a dark place where we feel shame, where we feel hurt, where we feel wounded, where we feel helpless. Here at Imago Dei Recovery, we want to help address these beliefs and replace them with the truth of who God sees us as. We are, in our core, image bearers of God. He has placed His image inside each and every one of us and given us innate value. As believers, He has chosen to give us His Spirit. He chose to die for us. He loves us that much. He desires relationship with us. One idea that has helped me address the 4 core beliefs of addiction is a new psychological way of thinking called internal family systems. In internal family systems, it describes each one of us as a collection of parts. Now, this may sound strange to those of us that grow up. After all, I'm one person. But if you think about it, in the beginning, God, one God, in 3 parts, created the world. And in the New Testament, He assigns tasks to the church, one body, composed of many parts. Could it be possible that each one of us is composed of parts? If you think of Paul's reasoning in Romans, where he is unable to do the things he wants to do and incapable of avoiding doing the things he does not want to do, parts logic makes even more sense. Dr. Richard Schwartz, the founder and developer of Internal Family Systems, or IFS, found in his research that the healthiest individuals at their core have 8 C's. The same 8 characteristics in their core. These 8 C's are curiosity, compassion, courage, connection, clarity, calm, confidence, and creativity. Again, those 8 C's are curiosity, compassion, courage, connection, clarity, calm, confidence, and creativity. Jenna Riemersma in Altogether You relates these 8 C's to the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. She proposes that these 8 C's are God's image inside of us. She goes on to comment how becoming further connected to these 8 C's, or the fruit of the Spirit, can help us live a healthier life. And not just a healthier life, but how being connected to this image of God inside of us can help us heal from our trauma and wounds that we experience growing up. In fact, being connected to this image of God inside of us, these 8 C's, or the fruit of the Spirit, helps us to become more attuned to God inside of our lives and more receptive to the healing that He desires to bring to each and every one of us. This is what we want to see occur through Imago Dei Recovery. We believe that as we grow up, adverse childhood experiences and just the brokenness of the world brings shadow and trauma to this image of God inside of us and covers it in a shroud. Experiences that we have, like growing up and not feeling heard, growing up and not feeling connected with our parents and the world around us. The interesting thing is that these 8 C's, or the fruit of the Spirit, are expressed differently in each one of us. Each of us has a unique manifestation of these 8 C's, or the fruit of the Spirit, in our lives. And that speaks directly to our giftedness and who God created us to be, and how His image is expressed uniquely inside each and every one of us. Maybe it's expressed in how you cast vision into other lives and how you help others to see God in areas where they are discouraged, in areas where they are frightened. Maybe you're gifted at listening to others and helping them to experience their pain and receive healing. That's what's so fun about internal family systems, is these character traits are expressed uniquely in you and what makes you you. They're going to be expressed differently than how they're expressed in my life and how they're expressed in your parents' lives or your partner's life or your friend's life. Each of us has a unique manifestation of these 8 C's, a unique manifestation of the fruit of the Spirit. But we live in a broken world, and that image gets tarnished, that image gets shrouded, that image gets hidden by the pain and sin that we experience as we go through life. Maybe we really wanted to do something growing up and our parents didn't listen. We wanted to participate in a sport or play an instrument or be involved in a community organization, and for whatever reason, our parents weren't able to provide us that, whether it's financial, whether it was a time reason, or whether they simply just didn't hear us in a clear way. Maybe at some point growing up, we felt like we were falsely accused and not heard, that our words didn't matter, that our parents didn't believe us, that they thought something different was true about us than truly was. Maybe our home life was chaotic and mom or dad weren't there, or when they were there, it didn't feel safe. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't know when one of them would get upset or for what reason. Maybe a member of our extended family weren't safe. Maybe they even victimized us and abused us and took advantage of us and groomed us. No matter how it happened, the truth is that pain entered our lives. Pain and suffering and trauma entered in one way or another, because we live in a broken, fallen world. No matter how it happened, the parts of us that express the image of God were shrouded in pain, in wounds, in trauma, and we were no longer able to access the image of God. We were no longer able to access that part of ourselves. We learned that instead of being compassionate, we needed to push people away. Then instead of being creative, we needed to perform at the highest level. We needed to please those around us. We needed to say yes all the time to keep the people around us happy and to keep ourselves safe. Instead of living out of the image of God inside of us, we felt like we needed to hide. We felt like we needed to get upset and angry when people triggered us. We felt like we needed to freeze or run away. We created coping mechanisms to keep ourselves safe. These tendencies to push people away, to freeze, to hide, aren't in and of themselves bad. Sometimes they cause us to do bad things, but the parts were not created out of a bad place. They were created to keep ourselves safe, to keep ourselves able to function in a fallen world where so much harm was threatening us from all sides. Internal family systems is set up to help us address those wounds that occurred in the past, to help us speak to each of these parts and find out what the goal was, to find out why we felt the need to hide, to find out why we felt the need to push people away, and bring healing. And at Imago Dei Recovery, we want to do the same thing. Each and every one of us at our core carry the image of God and goodness inside of us. Again, this doesn't mean that everything that we do is good and we should just accept ourselves and love everything and not work on recovering who God created us to be. But it does mean that we are not bad, that we don't need to live in shame all of our lives, that we don't need to hide. In fact, ultimate healing comes in having the courage to step out of that and be seen and be known and be able to experience the love of God and the love of others. Without those things, I truly believe it's impossible to encounter healing and growth. So, what does this look like? It looks like identifying those lies that we've believed, attacking those core beliefs of an addict, and allowing God to heal each and every part inside of us as we look to grow closer to Him. In summary, at Imago Dei Recovery, we want to engage in discussion and promote healing of all of our parts. We want to come to a deeper understanding of what the image of God inside of us looks like and how that affects who we are. We want to unleash the potential of who God created us to be. And I believe that that is only possible through accessing the image of God inside of us and understanding His love and the identity of who He created us to be. We want to engage our pain, not run away from it. We want to identify the wounds that we have and move through them and allow God's healing to come to each and every one of us. Only by identifying and working through these pain can we gain a deeper understanding of who God truly created us to be. Only then will we see ourselves for who He sees us as. Look forward to engaging in further discussion with you as we learn together what it looks like to live from the Imago Dei inside of us. Remember that you are God's masterpiece. Thanks for joining with me.